Why perfectionism? Why choose this as my first video for this channel? Well, it's a strange video really for me to make because I actually help people with this all the time in my professional work. It's not the main part of my job, but it's a major problem for many adults, and I seem to attract the adults with this problem to me, and I have it really bad myself. That's probably why I'm very good at helping other people with it, because I have dealt with it for a long time. I am aware of it. Lots of people are not aware of it. I'm not an expert on it, so this is not a video about the truth of perfectionism or anything else. But I can give some information about how it affects me for a story, and maybe that affects you in the same way or not. Really, I'm making this video for me. It's not a golden choice for a first YouTube video, but let's go on with the story. So I have been preparing to launch a YouTube channel for a long time. It's embarrassing really to say how long. And it wasn't always going to look like this. So this really starts back in 5 years ago. I had this idea that I was going to start an English YouTube channel, and I did a lot of groundwork for this. I researched all of the big channels, all of the people doing it. I looked at what they were doing. I made a spreadsheet. Spreadsheets are, if you love spreadsheets, then you probably have this problem. That's been my experience. I bought a fancy camera. That's how comes you can see me on this. And if you're used to watching me on Zoom, you might think, oh, I can see Sean very clearly. Yep, I have a fancy camera. I have a tripod. I even have a green screen. This microphone I actually bought for recording music, but I'm using this as well. And what else happened? Oh, I built a set, or I started building a set. I had this vision. I drew a picture of how I wanted it to look, and I bought this chair, and I made a background. I have all this testing footage. I went a long way with all of this, and it never went off the ground. I did make a few videos, and made lots of excuses, really. And that's not all bad. It's not all bad, because ultimately there was a problem, and the problem was I didn't really want to start an English YouTube channel, how to learn English. I didn't want to talk about vocabulary and grammar, and I didn't really learn about that until I started doing it. But I still made the mistake of not just publishing videos on the subject. I should have started. I then shifted over to Instagram, and I thought that might be a better way to do it. And it was more fun. I made some fun videos, some comedy videos. But again, I didn't really like it. And all of this really comes down to this problem of perfectionism. It affects us all differently, but I think ultimately, for me at least, I can say for myself, there's this underlying issue of not wanting to fail, not wanting to get things wrong. I hate getting things wrong. And that is a strange thing to have when you also know from practicing with other people and helping other people to achieve goals, to learn new skills and things. That's my job. I'm a teacher. I'm an educator. I coach people. That's how you get better. You have to make the mistakes. So yeah, that was the mistake I made. I should have, and this channel, this should really have been evolving over the last 5 years. I had to go by a different path, so I'm not really worried about all of that other stuff from 5 years ago, because I also didn't know about this perfectionism issue to the extent that I know now. But for the last year or so, I've really wanted to start this channel, and I do have a vision for it. I know what I want to get out of it. I'm not 100% certain how to do it, but I do have a clearer vision, which is, it's definitely it's not like my English idea where I thought, I teach English and that could be a good idea, could be interesting. This is much more aligned with what's important to me and what I'm interested in. So why haven't I started it? Well, I have started it. I've recorded several things. I've got interviews for my podcast lined up. I've got a few videos that I've made. I've got essays that I'm working on, which eventually will become a video. And why haven't I started it yet? a few people keep asking me, and this is it. That there's no real good reason, is there? I just haven't started because of perfectionism. So I was thinking about it the other day after a conversation with a friend of mine, and I thought, you know what? I should just make a video about perfectionism and try and do it in one take. This has not been one take, but it's not bad. There's no cuts, hopefully you'll see. So this is one take. And that's it. I planned the whole thing in a few minutes, and here we are. That's all I really want to say. I don't know if this will help anyone else necessarily, but it will get the channel started, which will help me. So if you did find something useful, fantastic. If not, I have something to end on anyway. I want to finish with a quote from a book I've been reading recently. Reading's not really the word. I've been intensely studying Meditations by Marcus Aurelius, and I've already come up with a problem which I didn't foresee, and that's I'm holding the microphone and I have to go on. I have to turn the page, so I'm going to interrupt this, but I'll read it anyway. Remember how long thou hast been putting off these things, and how often thou hast received an opportunity from the gods, and yet does not use it. Thou must at last perceive that a limit of time is fixed for thee, and if thou dost not use it for clearing away the clouds from thy mind, it will go, and thou will go, and never will return.